bugs. So many bugs. Exploding bugs. Such massive swarms of bugs. Gargura for some fucking reason. This year really has just been an amazing time for people like me. For people like us. For people that enjoy to pick up a massive fuck you gun and shoot down a massive amount of different kinds of insects. I don't know what it has been this year specifically for this many games of this kind to release, but I'm definitely not gonna complain. I've always been a massive fan of these types of games, especially with the Muso type genre, where you just have these anime type characters going in, having the massive weapons, killing a battalion of soldiers in a single swipe. It's amazing. Especially in the spin-off titles they do, with a lot of them just being like One Piece, Zelda, Fire Emblem. I think there's a Gundam one. We did a Berserk one. And just enjoy the thrill of seeing your counter go up like a high score with the amount of enemies you have just slain down in a single match. It is amazing. But this is not the type of game we're talking about today. We're talking about a slightly different type of game, where it's less about just having a melee combat system where you slay a bunch of enemies with swords and stuff, and instead you have a big-ass gun. It's a third-person shooter now. And I couldn't be happier. The year already started off great with Helldivers 2 releasing, which went from a top-down perspective to an over-the-shoulder one. And it's already, like, the amount of media attention it got is so amazing. And I mean, the hype that the game got around it and how popular it just got overnight. It's just an amazing feeling. Just going in there, choosing a mission, other people join, you can see the active player count. There's like these cool live missions that you can do. It's a lot of fun. And it's like such a cool game overall, man. Especially due to it having friendly fire. It's such a fun time just accidentally killing your friend while you were actually trying to kill that big enemy in the background. It is such massive mayhem, and it is so fun to just go in there and shoot up a bunch of insects. I know there's another faction, but we're not gonna talk about that one. That one scares me. The bugs are less terrifying, so we're just gonna talk about the bugs. And this is only the beginning, man. Only a few weeks ago, we had the next game releasing that had a pretty similar concept of Defense Force 6, which is a long-running series with its exact same concept of there's just a bunch of fucking insects spawning on the planet Earth. Let's go fucking kill them, man, before they destroy humanity. And I mean, of course, this game doesn't really have the same amount of graphical fidelity or like sense of stake, because you're a lot more powerful in this game compared to Helldivers. Like in Helldivers, that game is meant for you to feel underpowered, and it's amazing. But this game, you just go in there with an assault rifle and a grenade launcher and you just fuck up a bunch of massive ants for some reason, or spiders, or frog people. It's such fun, and I want this game to have the exact same amount of popularity, because it is a mission-based game that has like over 100 different story missions that are just amazing to play through. It deserves the exact same amount of love that Helldivers gets. Go play it. It's amazing. I'm gonna reenact something very traumatic for most Americans. It is so fucking slow. It is so fucking slow. Oh, the ant is climbing up the other tower. Look at it go. Yes, hit it. Yes. And please don't write this game off because of the graphics. I know it doesn't look the best, especially for a PS5 title, but believe me, what it lacks in graphics, it has in other parts. It is an amazingly fun game that I can just recommend to anyone that enjoyed Helldivers. It's a super addicting gameplay loop that just continues on and on and on and on. You get stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger, unlock new and fun weapons. Like my favorite gun is called the Minion Buster, and it's just a normal assault rifle that shoots little pink bullets that explode after a second after hitting the enemy. It's amazing. It reminds me a lot of a bolter gun from Warhammer, which, speaking of that is another game that is going to release in a few days. Space Marine 2. After the first game just made you kill a bunch of toads from Super Mario, this one went down the route of, hey, how about we also just make it about killing a bunch of insects? And I couldn't be happier. It's made by the same people who made World War Z, so they know how to make massive hordes of enemies look very cool and threatening, and you're a fucking Space Marine. When did the first game release? Like over a decade ago? It was basically a very simple Gears of War clone where you just fought against the orcs. Just going in there in your big blue armor, just this massive guy with his chainsaw or like massive hammer and like its gun like blazing through the enemy waves. It was a lot of fun, although very basic. And the new one, next to just like looking like the most gorgeous thing imaginable, seems to just take that concept and improve on it on like every level, and it looks like the most fun thing ever with a cool looking campaign where you can just explore a cool story set in the Warhammer universe as a space marine. We just go in there and fight the Tyranids in massive waves. They also announced, like after the game was delayed for over a year, they announced there's gonna be a co-op, like you can play the entire campaign in co-op, but not only that, there's an entire like PvE campaign where you have classes and can upgrade guns and just do a bunch of missions over and over again. So it's basically just like Warhammer Darktide, but instead of playing just like random nobodies, you actually play as a fucking space marine. And they already shown like the customization. You can just create your perfect own space marine soldier and completely customize how he looks. It is so cool. And that's not even all, but it's also gonna have a PvP mode, 6v6, where you can just build your own loadout and play not only as the loyalist factions, but also the traitors. So you can just play as probably like almost all of the Space Marine factions, which is like such a crazy thing. Because the first game also had a PvP mode, but you didn't really have the choice between different like factions. You just could like color them how you want, like try to act like you can. But now they actually like made the models look like the actual factions in this mode, and I'm just like way too hyped for this game. It just looks like the perfect shooter, and I hope that it's gonna result in us just getting way more like of these just like basic ass action games again, like we got a decade ago. But yeah, this video doesn't really have a point or anything. I just wanted to gush about like all of these games releasing where I can just shoot 1,000 monsters per second. It is fucking amazing. I can't wait. This is great.